But last night I got a call from a friend and a dedicated public servant. Senator Torres Ray called in her district, and it was on fire. And there weren't any police there. There weren't any firefighters. There was no social control, and her constituents were locked in their house wondering what they were going to do. That is an abject failure that cannot happen.
There were millions of Americans and Minnesotans certainly watching on their TV screens as this unfolded last night. There was almost a complete lack of visibility of local police, state police, National Guard. After much fanfare about how the National Guard was coming in, people watched buildings burn, public and private. How could there not have been a clear mission for the National Guard when they were called in and you knew things were going to happen last night?
Yeah, I will let my leadership come back up there. You're absolutely right, and I think that speaks to itself that by shortly after 10 o'clock, it became apparent that that structure would go. The way this works is the mayors ask and they take charge and lead on the missions. I'll let the folks come up here said, I see that too. I think the decision to not engage. And I want to.
Well, we're continuing to follow what's happening in the 3rd precinct right now. It has really devolved into mayhem and chaos in that part of the city.
Parts of Minneapolis are unrecognizable to people today, damaged by fire and looting.
Destruction and outrage continue across the Twin Cities tonight.
Well, this is the most important question of tonight. We have not heard from any of our city leadership, nor have we heard from Governor Walz about tamping down this violence.
Much of the area between South Minneapolis and Uptown is in ruins right now.
From miles away, the chaos and destruction in South Minneapolis was evident all night. It's much clearer as you arrive near the 3rd precinct. In the morning, the shouts of protesters have mostly given way to the buzzing of alarms at stores. Every business you see within 2 blocks of the police station is damaged. Many are still on fire. Here, a Metro PCS store burns with no one there to put it out.
Devon, we know you're joining us on the phone because where you were in your live location was no longer safe. Can you describe where you were and what was happening?
Yeah, Julie, it seems as though things have gone from bad to worse since we've been out here since this afternoon, really. Well, the protesters headed down to that direction and started breaking into the bank of the parking lot where we were parked. The U.S. Bank windows are bust out right now as a result of people taking bats to the windows. You know, a lot of things happening out here, and it's very unfortunate, you know, for some of the businesses that have been destroyed, literally destroyed, as a result of everything that's unfolded out here tonight.
We're waking up this morning to devastation in Minneapolis. Peaceful protests transitioning into violence and looting. One man is dead and another is in custody after a shooting near the demonstrations. Some buildings up in flames, others seriously damaged. An apartment complex that was under construction on 29th Street has burned to the ground. This is near the corner of 29th Street and 27th Avenue. The fire could be seen from miles away. The Wendy's nearby also burned, in addition to several other buildings around the area. Our crews captured some people trying to save their neighborhood as buildings burned. You can see people doing what they can, grabbing buckets of water, trying to stop the flames from spreading. Really emotional, heartbreaking video.
I've ever seen right now. This is Target right now. We've had a number of fires set. We've had a bad amount of looting, just widespread civil disobedience. And it's unfortunate. It's sad.
What building is that? Enterprise. Thanks, man. It's a furniture barn. It's filled with looters.
That this much damage was done despite your efforts?
Well, unfortunately, seeing everything else, I can believe it. But yeah, O'Reilly Auto Parts had shutters that they were closed down, and so that's hard to believe that anybody got through there. And we boarded up these windows. There's only 3 banks of windows here, and somehow they pried through and did what they did. So.
We're on Lake and Minnehaha right now, standing in the middle of a shopping center, one of several that has just been either broken into or burned to the ground. This is a Wendy's. You can see just the char, the devastation of this business that has been burned. There's even, you can see some of the kitchen equipment inside, just kind of putting things in perspective. Now, right across from me is an Aldi's. There is also a Target and a Cub Foods right across the street. All 3 of those businesses were broken into. There were looters that were going well into the morning, honestly, taking stuff from inside.
It's scaring the hell out of me, man. It's just getting worse and worse, and they're burning our community to the ground.
This is like complete anarchy and carnage. It doesn't even take all of this, man, to get justice and have people's voices be heard.
How was last night?
Scary. I live in the high-rise right back here, and I seen them as they came down Lake Street. But then they turned and started coming over here, and I'm sitting out looking out my window. And they went straight to Office Max, the dollar store, and every store over here that I go to. I have nowhere to go now. I have no way to get there because the buses aren't running. These people did this for no reason. It's not going to bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. And last night, I'm gonna be honest, I wish I was where George was, because this is ridiculous. These people are tearing up our livelihood. This is the only place I could go to shop. And now I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to get there.
I know you mentioned, being in your home last night, and you did have some folks that were helping, holding the ground. And you see some cleanup right now as well. There are signs of hope, but I can see the frustration still.
When the National Guard came down 31st and they realized that they were coming down 31st, they tried to run in the building where I live at. And they couldn't get in because there was security there, and I'm glad they were there. Because if they hadn't got in that building, there's no telling where they would have hid to stay safe and try to mess with us inside the building because we're handicapped. And I'm not trying to use handicap as a crutch, but there are certain things I can and cannot do. And for them to do what they did last night was just stupid. It was ignorant. Now what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna shop at? Half the people probably don't even live in Minnesota. They don't care.
Stephanie, thank you so much, and I hope you find some peace.
Minneapolis, I think, represents, and it's a very sad day that got out of control like this, because they came in and they had all the way up and down Lake Street. They were looting and ripped everything up and broke everything and completely totaled the store.
They had broken into the Walgreens, and when I saw that, I just had a feeling. I turned around and I came back, and by the time I got here, they were breaking into the store, throwing rocks in all the windows and everything.
The window is busted and furniture inside of this furniture store on University Avenue destroyed. It's hard enough for anyone to be a business owner, but for some minority business owners, generations of hard work destroyed like that.
Trying to help soften the blow of what might be.
On University Avenue, in the heart of the Midway neighborhood, there's a cluster of Black-owned businesses trying to preserve history and prevent destruction.
Elsa's House of Sleep. It's my mom's business. My mom started this business in 1997, and we've been running this business since she passed away in 2004.
But the owner of Elsa's and the small business owners surrounding him haven't slept.
No, we haven't been getting any sleep these past few nights.
I don't even know the time. I've been up since like 7 o'clock yesterday, and we actually stayed out here all night last night.
Tim Wilson owns Urban Lights Music. He says they called for help, but nobody came. The business owners say police were guarding Allianz Field a few blocks over as the city was under attack.
I mean, it's hard to juggle both worlds. I got to ride both sides of it because I understand the outrage and I understand people's confliction with the situation. I guess that's the best word. I'm on the other side of it as well, understanding that, but also knowing that this is my livelihood, so I don't want this disrupted or destroyed.
I can't even go in my office to at least mail the gas cards out.
Alana Carrington runs Carrington Cares.
We provide gas cards for cancer patients once a month to get to and from chemo and or radiation.
Alana said she sent up a prayer for protection when the pandemic forced them to shut down. Tonight, she hopes it holds.
Everything around us burned. I believe we didn't burn down because about 30 days ago, when we thought we were going to do a soft open due to the COVID, I went from that corner to Elsa's House of Sleep with my bottle of blessed oil, and I put the sign of the cross over every businesses, asking God to do a bunch of things. My heart wants peace in this city.
And the shattered glass, another symbol of a destroyed building. These buildings can be replaced, but the business owners I spoke with say the devastation to families and lives lost can't. Back to you.
Some of these owners were out here on Lake Street all night to protect their properties, walking around the parking lots, trying to intimidate looters to just keep walking and leave their properties alone. One woman, an elderly woman, was out here actually yelling at looters all through the night. The owner of Sonora Grill spent the night in his parking lot. He says he confronted a few looters, but so far his business has been left untouched. But a few of his neighbors weren't as lucky. He could only sit and watch as looters broke into the body shop down the street.
And they stole 4 cars out of the shop, and one of the neighbors who's been walking up and down the street, she came over and told me that they used one of the cars to ram it onto TCF.
Some of these business owners have even resorted to carrying guns to try to intimidate these looters and scare them away. Minneapolis police last night told us that they're discouraging this because the castle doctrines in this state do protect you when it comes to protecting your home, but they don't have the same protections when it comes to protecting your business.